And a very good day to you, and welcome to the program. Let's go straight to the Word of God, to the book of Exodus, the second book in the Old Testament, Exodus chapter 17, and I'm reading from verse 12. But Moses' hands became heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. The Lord laid upon my heart that there comes a time when the young people have got to step up and the old people have got to step on, not down, okay? There's Moses, the man of God, okay? He must have had an incredible physique. You know, he was 80 years old when he went and faced Pharaoh, the most powerful man on earth, and told him that I am, says you must let my people go. He definitely wasn't weak in any way. And yet there came a time in his life where he called his son in the Lord, Joshua, said, you go down there and you fight Amalek and his men, and I'll stand up on that mountain and I'll hold up my staff, and when my arms are in the air, you will have the victory. But of course he was getting tired. And so Aaron and Hur came and held him on either side. They put a stone behind him and he sat down and he kept those arms up all day long. Folks, try and keep your arms up for 1 hour and see what it feels like. And then Joshua had the victory. There comes a time for all of us when we've got to hand over to young people. I want to really encourage you today to be humble enough to give young people a chance. You say to me, but Angus, my son just messes it up. I can't hand over the reins to him. Every time I do, he messes up. But listen, did you never mess up? Did you never ever make a mistake, sir? You've got to pay school fees. You've got to learn the ropes. Did Moses never make a mistake? I want to tell you something. Moses made more mistakes than Joshua. So we really need to understand that. You see, in these hectic and troubled times in which you and I are living, we need the vigor and the physical strength of the young man and the young woman. There is nothing so distasteful than to see an old man trying to compete with a young man. It's distasteful. To see an old woman trying to compete with a young woman is very distasteful. We need to grow old graciously and gracefully. And we need to give young people an opportunity. Moses couldn't fight physically. He was fighting spiritually, which is probably more important. And he allowed Joshua to put together a formidable team, because between the two of them, they were a formidable team. That's how God orchestrated you and I to be. We must pass on the baton so that we can continue. This farm that I'm on at the moment is the farm I started. It's not my farm anymore, it belongs to my son. The farm next door belongs to my other son, and the farm across the road belongs to my daughter and her husband. And you know something, it's just so wonderful for me to be able to drive around or ride on my horse and just see what they're doing. I've got a word here for some man who just will not release the reins. You know what's going to happen? If you don't do that, your son will leave. And you're getting old, and you won't be able to cope with that enterprise. It doesn't have to be a farm, it can be a business, it can be anything. Hand over the reins and work together, and God will bless you. Goodbye.